All right. Well, welcome to another edition of My Southern Exposure. I'm here. Today's date is Tuesday, December 29th, 2020. Once again, we welcome you into our homes. Myself, Joseph Manuello, reporting live on duty. RAJEE NARINESINGH, my beautiful co-host. She's the box to the right of me. And then we have a silent listener who chimed in for a second about how horrible the music was. So I was trying to find something a little bit more up to date, but I'm going to definitely take notice of that not being a good song. So, but welcome. This is our last show of the year. Season number 2, show number 12. So that's 24 shows this year since we started off. It's our last show of 2020. So the reason why I started off with that image is to wish all of you an Auld Lang Syne. It's New Year. RAJEE, how's your week been?
Oh my gosh, that song, first of all, I don't know. I always get so sad when I hear that song. It just has this, it's like this feeling of like bittersweet, melancholy, this just like sad feeling, like you're saying goodbye. Well, I know this year, most of us want to say goodbye to 2020. Oh my goodness. But I love it. It's such a pretty song to me. And it brought back a memory for me of one New Year's Eve. I think I was probably 20 years old or 19, and me hugging my mom. This particular New Year's Eve, I don't know why I think I remember it so much because I was really emotional that particular New Year's, and I just hugged her and broke down crying, and it was just like that. That's like just it's ingrained in my memory. So when I heard the song at the opening of the show, I went right back to that New Year's, and it's amazing how music is like really a time capsule. It takes you back to that time in your life or a particular time in your life. So overall, I'm doing well. I had a great Christmas. I went out to a restaurant for New Year's, oh Lord, Christmas Eve, and it was delicious. J. Alexander's. If anyone knows that restaurant, honey, try the food. It's delicious. And but Christmas Day, I was home quiet. I just made my own little Christmas dinner, and I'm hopeful. I'm just hopeful for 2021. I've been using this word lately, serendipitous. A serendipitous 2021 for all of us. So, Joseph, we have some really, really, really interesting topics, some deep topics, some fun topics. It's a lot that we're going to talk about this last show of 2020.
Well, thank you so much for that. And by the way, I will also say this. Alexander's, you are a local restaurant. We would be more than happy if you decided to, let's say, possibly advertise with us. And I don't think it's necessarily horrible to just put that out there in the environment. Also, by the way, Kamala Harris, I text messaged you from your Facebook earlier today. Please, please, please. Rebecca Jones, also, I text messaged you as well. Oh, I see that on your shoulder. So there's a lot of people out there right now.
Kamala, the reason why I did this is she got the shot today on national TV. So anyway. Yeah.
No, I know. And you and I share different perspectives about that, which we will discuss those because you have your perspective, I have my perspective, and the orangish colored Post-it note that they can see at the bottom of the screen. If she coughs or chokes or if the little Post-it note moves, that's one of our viewers at home. By the way, if you are interested in watching the show, you're more than welcome to. I already sent out a couple of different messages to people on Facebook from a couple of different accounts. So if you want to contact us, and this is for everybody at home, whether you got that message or not, whoever is going to be listening to the show later, you can always contact me directly, Joseph at mySouthernExposure.site. You can also text message me directly, my real phone number, public knowledge, 954-531-4631. You can also get an invite to do just like the person is doing now and watch the show. I have up to 100 people who can watch the show. So there is definitely potential for emails, text messages, and communication before the show for us to talk about something that you want to bring up. I do want to reiterate the fact of thank you so much. Our more than 77,000 total viewers that we had since our little teeny tiny show started not that long ago.
Lucky number.
24 episodes. I guess so. 24 is a good number. So hopefully next year we might be getting 70,000 views per show, as opposed to a total of 76,000 views within a 24 show period. But those numbers aren't something to just scoff off. And your opinions are very important. If you want to get a hold of Rajee, her email is Rajee at MySouthernExposure.site. That's Rajee at MySouthernExposure.site. So let's just dive right into these topics. First of all, I've had a couple of different personal experiences within the last week that I'd like to share. One was something that directly affected me. Another was something that affected somebody else that I care about. Well, neither of them affected me directly. It's other people that it affected, but I care about the people that they affected. So this time of year, there's a lot of people out there who are looking to change their healthcare insurance provider. Now, I already shared this story with you, Rajee, and I think I shared the second story with you also as well. I don't know if I did or not, but I'll share it with you and just remove the personal information to not disclose who it actually affected. But someone that I know and care about very close to my family in my home household. So there's only two people. Everyone knows who lives here. So health insurance is already provided. Health insurance was already selected. And at the end of the year, there's a lot of health insurance companies that are looking to switch people from company A to company B. Okay. So 2 or 3, I should say, a week before Christmas, I got a phone call from the current doctor's office, and they notified me that, you're so lucky, we have a gift for you. I was like, okay, that's strange. I've never gotten a gift from a doctor's office before, but okay. And it was for the person who I love and care about. So I was like, okay. They're like, come over during a certain time period. I know that you don't like coming in, so we'll bring the gift out to you. I was like, great, that's fine, wonderful. So I showed up, and it wasn't me, it was someone else who the quote unquote gift was for. And what it turned out to be was a sales pitch to switch from company A, insurance provider, to company B, insurance provider. Luckily, this person who I love and care about went in, understood that something didn't smell kosher, so to speak, and came out and said, I don't know what to do. Can you come in here and help me understand? No problem. Go in. As soon as I walked in the door, this healthcare insurance person, and I'm using that term lightly, I will not divulge the person's name, even though I do have their card, and I'm not pointing the front of the card on purpose to give them a little bit of protection. But you pissed me off. So as soon as I walk in the door, this individual, I'm not going to say their race or their sex or anything like that, because I think those are things that are unimportant. This person was like, oh, okay. So do you have insurance? I said, yes. That's already in place. Well, do you know about this and this and this and this and this and this and this? I'm like, yeah, it's already good. I don't understand why we're having this conversation. I thought we were just coming in to pick up a quote gift. And I looked at the person who I love and care about. That person looked at me. I was like, let's go. Let's hit the bricks. So we left. So that was pretty much it. About an hour later, after I calmed down enough to be able to talk and not scream and yell, because I removed myself from an aggravating situation, I called the doctor's office and explained how disappointed I was about what had happened. And then they apologized and said that it's very important for this gift to get to this person, yada, yada. And then I go back to pick up a written prescription for this individual. And the same person, as soon as I walk in, apparently, sales pitch, like if you don't get them the first time, you got to try a second and a third or fourth or a fifth or a sixth. Comes up and starts to do the same thing again. And I didn't have it. The person who works there that knows me, that sees me on a regular basis every single month, because I pick up the prescription for this person that I love and care about. So they don't have to be put into a doctor's office and potentially get sick being around other people, which this presentation had 6 people in a very small space. Everyone was wearing masks, but it's an unnecessary risk from my perspective. It's something that you could send an email or a letter about and then let people know about it and then let them make a choice. Don't say you have a gift and do a bait and switch. So, Rajee, my question is, have you ever had a bait and switch about health care insurance before in your life? And what do you think about what happened?
Well, okay. Isn't a lot of life bait and switch? I mean, when you think about it. But no, I haven't personally had a bait and switch in regards to health insurance. I have experienced the pressure from these health insurance representatives, like when I've gone to my doctors and they happen to be there and they want you to try to switch from what you have to what they are offering. I've dealt with that before. What I think about it is, people do anything to make a sale, really. That's what it boils down to. I don't think it was right the way they lured your dear loved one. I don't think that was right because they were making it like an appreciation luncheon or, to get together where they were going to give her a present. And it really was a sales pitch. So I can understand you being angry. Um, I would have been upset. I would have been like, really? Really? Like, this is why you are had me come down here. So I'm totally on board with you. I don't know if I would have let it. Well, everyone is different. And I know I can just see you now. I know you were like having a tizzy fit in the beginning. Um, but everyone reacts differently. So and depending on what I would have stopped to go, like made time out of my day to go to this thing, thinking I was getting a present and being appreciated, and then it was just a sales pitch. I probably would have been mad too. So I'm on board with you. I'm definitely on board with you with this one.
Well, I mean, the thing is that I was very calm and very respectful in person, just as I am, and you know this.
Let's talk.
I am. I don't. Well, it's funny that you say. It's funny that you say. No, it's funny that you say because here's the email right here. I let this person have it. Oh, good Lord, did I let them have it? Because after it happened the second time, when this, using the term loosely, human being, approached me, I'm like, I just walked the door.
Now they were overdoing it, yeah.
Home.
Really pushing.
I'm like, I got your bracelet. I got you got this bracelet you got me for my birthday. I had my own bracelet on. I was oming. I was omen to omen. I mean, seriously, I was calming myself down. ready to bust a person. So about an hour later, I was like, no, I'm not having that. 2020 has been a lot of people lying, cheating, stealing, telling people things that are not fact, creating fiction, and a whole bunch of bupkis. So I let this person have it completely. And I have not gotten a response from that individual. But I do want to say, if you work for a healthcare provider, whoever you are sitting at home, or if you know someone working for a healthcare provider, don't be trying to make people switch just for you to make a sale and put them at risk. How about you just give them a phone call? How about you send them a letter?
I know.
This is a serious time. Our numbers keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and worse every single day. How many people have to die in order for people to understand that people don't need to be around each other unless it's absolutely necessary? Like that's my frustration. Like I don't go out to dinner. I don't go out to nightclubs. People don't come around. You know this. Just like everybody else knows this. I wear a mask. I look like Darth Vader. I wipe down the groceries. I do as much as I can. And thank God, by the grace of God, all of us are strong and healthy. But the fact of the matter is that you want to do this right now during this time period, it's just absolutely ludicrous. So that's just my perspective. A second thing that happened to somebody else that is not a direct family member, but someone that I do care about, and I'm helping this individual with the legal part of things, giving this individual legal advice, because I'm actually, I know I don't look smart, but there's some brain matter in here. I'm pretty good at doing legal briefings and motions and filing paperwork and stuff. Yeah. But anyway, so this individual had Child Protective Services called on them because of something that was such a simple thing. And they turned this person's life upside down, and it turned into a huge deal. And when it comes down to it, it was something that was a complete misunderstanding. Can you imagine what that would be like? Days before Christmas, you're at work, you go home, you're doing your thing, you're doing the right thing, by the way. And then Child Protective Services comes to your house, and then your mother contacts you and says, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do." And let's put it out this way: this individual's mother is a little disabled to not understand their legal rights. Legal rights are not something that a lot of people understand. Like, unless you have a warrant, I'm going to tell you to get in your fucking car, turn around, and leave. And I'm going to call the cops on you, and have a video of you, and I'm going to file a complaint. So, to put things into perspective, I helped this individual send out certified registered letters to the school that created the problem, also to the Broward Sheriff's Office. Now I apparently said where the person lives. So anyways, long story short, and it will also probably help this individual as well as other people be able to address this kind of situation. From what I understand, Child Protective Services can basically show up at anybody's door. And I can say this without any guilt or bad conscience. I've called Child Protective Services on people before out of fear for a child. But this takes a long time before I do it. Not a long time, but it takes several observations of me just being around people and seeing things progress and escalate. I don't just automatically, oh, I see someone who had a problem, and then I call. That's not what I do. So, but the fact is that I help this individual with that. But my question for you is, what do you think about Child Protective Services, or even elder protective services? Because it goes both ways, where you can call if you have concerns about somebody's safety. I've called to have a safety check done on people before also as well. If I can't get a hold of somebody, or if something seems out of character, I've called to get some assistance. What do you think about how that works?
Okay, so this is the thing. In the name of children, I think it's necessary. Unfortunately, the Child Protective Services system has been abused certain times where people will make false allegations and then it puts someone through hell, you know. But we need it. We need that because, well, not, we don't need that to happen per se, but we need child protective services because there are a lot of horrible situations that children are in and they need someone to look after them and protect them. So it's a catch 22. I mean, we need it, but at the same time, you know, with any system, it has its downfalls. And unfortunately, some people have gone through accusations that, you know, things they didn't do, but they were accused of, and their life was made a living hell. You know, so we, I'm sorry about those people. I feel bad for them, but I still know that we need the child protective services. And sometimes they have to do what they have to do, and they have to be um, a bit relentless, especially in the name of a child. You know, if it's going to help or save a child get out of a detrimental situation, then by all means.
I agree with you completely, but and I don't disagree with anything that you just said. But there's a lot of people who don't understand the rights that they're signing away when they sign a piece of paper. So let's use an example. You take your kid to public school, okay? And let's say during this whole virus thing, the child had not been in public school.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because some people think that it's safe, then they're going to make that decision and then switch to public school, even though they don't need to because they've gotten used to doing it from home. But a lot of people don't understand, like when you sign that piece of paper that says, you know, because it's school's free, and the money for each school is dictated by how many people are enrolled.
Mm-hmm.
So each city, each state, each county gets money for each individual student.
Mm-hmm.
So when you sign that piece of paper that says, okay, I release all of my information, this, that, the other, and whatnot, and everything else, and everything was fine while the child was at home, schooled with people coming to your home, and then all you do is take them from home and drop them off, and then it turns into a problem where there hasn't been a problem before. That's where it's one of those things where I want to caution people. I mean, I don't really talk about too many companies and things like that, but I do want to do a shout out to K-12, K12.com. They've been around for over, I think, 20 years now, and they have special needs classes that they can accommodate virtually, just like our telephone conversation, our show that we're doing. You have an individual teacher. The only thing that they don't, and it's free, but you're enrolled through K-12, and that's from kindergarten to 12th grade. You can homeschool your children. This has been going on for 20 years. It's not something that's brand new. So what I would suggest for people is to consider the option of homeschooling your child with your laptop, with your desktop computer, keeping the kids safe. You don't know what's going to be happening when you drop your kids off. There's so many things that you can't blame the school if the kid gets sick. You can't do this because of this, and you can't do this because of this, but then they can do whatever they want in reverse. It seems a little strange to me, and I don't agree with it. It's like you can't have A without B and then come up with a C. I mean, it's A and B. Right. So if you're signing a piece of paper that says you can't sue the school if your child gets sick, but then the school can send CPS to your house because they don't understand why there's a bruise on your child when that bruise had been there ever since childbirth because their umbilical cord was wrapped around their arm. Yeah. I mean, and it's documented. That I'm using that as an example. So I'm not sharing too much information with disclosing this individual, but this is a perfect example of a case where it's not something that was a problem and then created a problem. And what I advised this person to do was just completely remove all communication, everything else, send letters, file the paperwork that's necessary, file an actual complaint, and actually homeschool their child. So my suggestion for people is don't automatically think that you have to put your child in school because there is no actual law that you have to put your child in school. Think about the Amish people. Those kids don't go to school. They're homeschooled. Think about some of the Indians out there, the Inuits and whatnot. They're not forced to go to school. You don't have to have your child go to school. You can homeschool your child. You can do an online program. These things have been around for a long time. So that's one of my things that I wanted to bring up about CPS. And then with elder care, my concern is like with our current administration down here in Florida, Ron Dixaton. I usually refer to him pretty much almost every episode because the dislike from my perspective is pretty vehement. So these people are in nursing homes and they haven't been around their family. And in order for them to be admitted into a nursing home, someone has to sign a piece of paper that basically says that they relinquish all of their rights of choice and everything else, and that the nursing home is in charge of that person. These are people in nursing homes that have diminished mental capabilities. They have a problem making decisions. They don't understand things completely, not the same way that you or I or a lot of other people do. And then the person shows up with a needle. Okay, here's your shot. And then Ron Dixaton is there taking a nice photo op while the person gets the shot. Now, there's a lot of things that are good about shots. You believe that there's a lot of good things with vaccinations. I disagree, but there's good things with medications and everything and bad things. But with this medication, what I've seen is this vaccine, a lot of quotation marks around everything. So I don't think that it's fair for people to be forced, if you work in a hospital or a doctor's office or a nursing care facility or corrections office, that you're forced to make the decision, either I got the shot or I get fired, or that the people who are in those places have to have it. They didn't create the problem. They've been captive this entire time. So you can't force people to put on a mask. Like, seriously. I mean, how long does it take? That's not permanent. It's not in my arm.
Yeah.
It took me 2 seconds. How about we would have done this a year ago, as opposed to now I got to get a shot. And then this person doesn't have a choice. So I went from one thing to the next, and that's a little bit hard probably for the people at home watching and listening. Rajee, what do you think about what I just said?
Okay, so you know my stance on this. I think that Western medicine can be good, but I also think that Eastern medicine, holistic medicine, is also good. I think you can do a combination of both and have a successful result. I have been in situations, and as soon as I got that medicine, oh my God, talk about instant relief. I mean, 2 weeks ago, no, not two, it's been about 3 weeks now. I had an eye situation in horrible pain, suffering, just very uncomfortable, very miserable. Soon as I put the drops in my eyes that the doctor prescribed, instant relief. I mean, like I could feel it. There was like relief, like, oh, thank God. So I can't sit here and talk against medication because it's helped me in certain situations. But I think just like with everything, there's the good and the bad about it. There's been medications that have come out that the FDA has recalled, and then later down the road, people are suffering from different things because of the medication. Unfortunately, that has happened. In regards to COVID, the COVID vaccine, I think the jury is still out. There's videos circulating around of people that are having bad reactions. But it's interesting. This one, it's an African American woman. She's a nurse. She's in one of the southern states, and she now says she has Bell palsy. And she's like, her face, one side of her face is paralyzed. She can't smile because with Bell palsy, you try to smile, but you can't because like one side is kind of paralyzed. So I had said, I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. So I sent the video to a few people, and my cousin pointed out something. She says, oh, did you notice the Russian writing? And I didn't notice that. I was so focused on the woman. And then she was like, yeah, I heard that some people are getting the Bell palsy as a reaction, but it's supposed to only last for about a few days to a week. And then she says, with the Russian writing, you have to wonder if it's top propaganda. You know how they take, like, say a million people get vaccinated and 10 people have bad reactions? They use that to scare people, like that fear tactic. So I think the numbers are still out. The jury is still out. We have to see more. We have to see. We have to get more information on it. I mean, I know so far there's been a 20 million people vaccinated. I can't. I'm not sure.
I
Don't quote me with the numbers, but there's been quite a lot of people, and you don't hear everyone saying they're dropping and they're having horrible reactions. So that's why I'm saying I think the jewelry is still out, but it's just one of those things. And then to force people, I don't agree with that. But everyone has their regulations, and if you're working somewhere, unfortunately, especially if it's governmental, you're going to be subjected to probably when either you get the vaccine or you're laid off or you don't work until you do. So yeah, so that's where I am on that. I don't know. I mean, are you going to get it, or you're just definitely not going to get it?
Abso-freaking-lutely not. The reason why this is a big thing for me is that it's one of those things where it's like other people created this problem because they dismissed it.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want to do things properly, and they downplayed it the entire time. And then now pharmaceutical companies step into the equation, that they're making a whole bunch of money off of it, including, I'll find the paper in a moment, the guy from Pfizer. I printed this off earlier, and I mentioned it to you. So they're saying this is a quotation from, I forget which news source. Just give me a moment to find it. I copied and pasted it. I think it was NBC News. This is from the Pfizer CEO, Albert Bourla. And this is back in September when they thought that the vaccine would be out before the actual election of this year. And he actually said, in a quotation, the people who don't take the COVID-19 vaccine will become a quote unquote weak link that allows the coronavirus to spread. Now, first of all, I take offense to that because the weak link this entire time has been the current administration, downplaying it from the very beginning, walking around, acting like it wasn't a real thing, having political parties and people traveling everywhere, no masks. They don't want to seem weak. They don't want to wear masks, and it basically spread around. It's rampant everywhere. And now we have a new variant with the virus that's spreading 70 times % more than the original one. So if we don't understand the current vaccine, which should have taken 10 years, but they got it done in a vaccine, the vaccine got done in 10 months. I called it an elexine because it was used for election reasons to try to make things look better and sound better. Something that usually takes 10 years that was warp speed, ridiculous term, unless you're on a spaceship somewhere or just plain old stupid. So let's warp speed this vaccine and make it push it through. And then now the current thing is that everyone is taking a picture showing that they're taking it, and this and that and the other. How do we know that the people who are on camera that are actually taking the vaccine are actually getting the vaccine? How is it not just like me going like this? I just had the vaccine. It's a great photo op. Oh, I feel just fabulous. I feel fabulous, don't I? So how do we know who actually had the vaccine? How do we know who doesn't? That's HIPAA laws. You actually don't have the right to know if someone had a vaccine or not, unless they start to change the laws, which in one country, I think it's Brazil or another country that I saw a very disturbing post where they're going to start to actually keep track and monitor the people who refuse to take a vaccine. So if we go that far to start to take people's rights away from making a decision of taking a vaccine or not and forcing people to take a vaccine to keep their job or to travel, but we're not going to force them to put on a mask. So then is that like the new thing? So, okay, so Ebola is not a real virus. It's never going to happen. It's just going to disappear in 5 months. It'll disappear right after the election. It's just nothing. It'll just go away instantly, like overnight. Kind of like your base there, buddy. Your base is gone. They've disappeared overnight. And probably you'll be in prison with them also as well. So I think Trump Towers is probably going to turn into a really nice prison cell for you, as well as the rest of the people that are connected to you. But the point with this, and I try to put a little bit of humor in there, is that I don't think it's right to force people to take a vaccine. If you want to take a vaccine, you take the vaccine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't take it, but I'm not going to take it. And I have my reasons. And I'm not going to not share the reasons why I'm concerned about it. Just like you share your reasons about what's good about them. I mean, and it's one of those things where it's okay to force people to take a vaccine, and if you're there and force them to take a plane trip. In order to take a plane trip, they have to take a vaccine that they don't want to. And if they don't take the vaccine, or if they don't have a digital quote unquote proof of their vaccine, then they can't go into a concert somewhere. How about we don't have a freaking concert? How about we don't take a trip unless it's for medical reasons? How about we postpone going to a vacation spot just to get away? That's my perspective. I know it's rough to be able to figure this out, and this whole idea of this herd immunity thing. I don't know about you, Rajee, but I'm not part of a herd. I mean, as far as I understand, herd are like cattle, cows, sheep. I'm not part of the sheep. I'm woke. I am wide awake. And you are not woke. You are not putting me in a freaking herd to go over the cliff and then test whatever on me. We'll get into the LGBTQ stuff in a moment with this, but I agree with you with that. What do you think about Albert Bourla saying that people who don't take the vaccine will become a quote unquote weak link that allows the coronavirus to spread, and being at the stock exchange market for a photo op the same day that he did it?
Well, can anyone say money? Can anyone say profit? Can anyone say, economy, capitalism? I mean, okay. Of course he's going to promote the vaccine. That's like me putting out a product, Rajee's face cream. And if you don't use it, you're going to get wrinkles. So you got to use it. I mean, it's the same thing, basically. Of course he's going to do that. And him being at the stock exchange, I mean, got it. Can you get it any more bold about it really being an economical thing for these pharmaceuticals? I mean, we talked last week about the stocks and how I think Moderna went from, I think last year was $18, and don't quote me, but it was around that, to now it's 145 a stock. I mean, come on. Yeah, of course. And, here in this country, it's always pharmaceuticals. It's always been about, well, let's hope about making medicines to help people, but also very much about money and how much they charge for a particular medicine. So yeah, I mean, and I mean, unless you are like under a rock or like, you know, not coherent, it's just it's there. It's there for anyone to be able to observe and realize and see. This isn't anything that we're making up. You can go online and find this shit out. Oh, excuse me.
Yep. It's true. I already cussed earlier, and the viewer is no longer viewing the show. I think the person might have maybe had something come up because she was at work. She probably shouldn't have been on the computer watching us on the show.
Oh,
Anyways,
naughty,
so maybe. But it is what it is. I'm not saying that all medication is bad. But by the same token, I think that medication is overprescribed to a lot of people. Just like, let's use diabetes medications for an example. How about you eat less sugar? How about you exercise? How about, instead of eating a chocolate bar every day, you have a chocolate bar once every 4 days. All I'm saying is like moderation and I agree with you that there's a balance between Western medicine, quote unquote, and also Eastern medicine with more of the homeopathic kind of stuff. But I lean more towards drinking water. I mean, drinking water and getting a lot of sleep, that kind of thing, as opposed to taking anything. I don't take any medication at all. I mean, for years.
Say that. That's great.
I mean, but it's one of those things where I understand and I've seen what medications have done to my family members that they were prescribed to take, and then I've seen their health decline for whatever their original problem was. Ever since I was a kid, I've seen people decline from chemotherapy to so many different kind of medications that I've seen. Or I've seen too much alcohol, so alcohol abuse. I've seen drug abuse. I've seen a lot of different things, overeating, all of those different things I've seen displayed. So I've come to the terms with just trying to keep even keel. I'm not saying I don't drink, because I drink. Everyone knows this. I have 1 or 2 shots of quote unquote a drink a day, and then I probably have 2 to 3 beers, which technically, that's a whole other topic. Technically, that's permissible if you're a man. Now, if you're a woman, and I don't think this is fair, and you might not even know this, so it's okay for a man to have 2 glasses of wine a day, but for a woman, it's 1.
So, well, as a trans woman, I'm sure I can have 3. Well, at least 2.
Actually, that's exactly what I was expecting you to say. I really was, but I'm just saying, like, with the medication stuff, there's so many things that we don't know about, and especially with this one that we don't know about. And actually, you talked about people who've had, procedures. I think you mentioned it just a moment ago, and I saw that people who've had it was one of the texts that I had sent you. I don't know if you pulled it up yet, and I don't have the link right here handy to see, but one of them talked about the elevated risk from a reputable news source, and it was confirmed in 2 or 3 different news sources that people who've had injections, facial injections, or body injections, that if they take the vaccine, that it's going to make that area flare up.
Wow. Well, that would definitely be something I might want to look into before I go.
You're going to want to look into that. Well,
Yeah.
that's just it, is that you're going to want to look into it. And then people with pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
Diabetes is one of the ones that's on there. There's anyone who's on HIV medications now. They didn't include us in the clinical trial. They did not include it.
Okay.
But now they're saying that they don't know and they need to find out what's wrong. And they never said HIV until this report just came out.
Wow.
Report just came out last night or this morning.
Mhm.
And we talked about this, though.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the show 4 or 5 months ago, where I was like, why aren't they including us in the data? Why aren't they asking people? There's some people who might look into it. They might want to participate in it. I'm not going to participate in something like that. I mean, I don't have that situation, but I wouldn't do it if I did.
Yeah.
To become like a guinea pig and take something, because they were offering big money for people back then. They were offering like $2,000 to participate in a trial. And then it turned out that those trials, quote unquote, that we were getting bombarded with months ago turned out to be fake. And then it was on the news. All right, so it's just one of those things that it's just really, really frustrating, because I agree with you that medications are good, but I have a really bad, ominous feeling about this one. I really, really, truly do.
Well,
so, and I can't turn it off.
And the thing is medications are good, but not all medications, So there you go. You have to proceed. And it's like anything. It's like food. It's like anything. I can eat peanuts, not probably. I can eat peanuts, but maybe peanuts could kill you because you have a horrible allergic reaction to peanuts. So,
Yeah.
I think it's a case by case, individual type of situation. Everything doesn't work for everyone. So,
I mean, you're right in so many different ways. So it's just one of those things where we're gonna have to figure out what to do. At least when we get back to the new show, it's gonna be Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 18th, 2 days before.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Hey.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen and hallelujah. Seriously.
Hallelujah.
I mean,
Hallelujah.
It does not get much better than that. I think that the new year is going to be an interesting year, and it doesn't make a difference who's in charge, but I like the idea of who is in charge right now, because it seems like we're transitioning from all lies to it's going to be all facts. And even with those quote unquote facts, there's going to be lies in there probably. I mean, it's just the truth. People lie for different reasons, or people don't disclose all the information all the time. Oh my God, there's so many other topics to go over. It's ridiculous. I wanted to bring up a couple of different things and let people know about 2 important runoff elections that are going to be happening very soon. I think it's January 5th or January 6th. And one of them is Senator Warnock, and then also Senator Ossoff. I do have to say this. Warnock is a preacher, and he's a person of color.
Okay.
If you are interested in helping support him, it's warnockforgeorgia.com. That's WARNOCKFOR Georgia.com. He's running for Senate in the state of Georgia. And then there's also John Ossoff, who is running for Senate as well in Georgia. His website to go to is electjohn.com. That's ELECTJON.com. That heavy wheezing in the background is my extremely overweight dog who apparently needs some attention. Yeah, it was like, I have no idea what that was. I apologize. That's what happens when you do a live show. So I mean, sometimes she coughs, sometimes she hiccups. I have no idea what end the sound's going to come out of, but so that wasn't me wheezing because I was talking while the wheezing was happening. But I do have to say this. John Ossoff.
Oh, wait a minute. Really? Oh, I have to.
Did you see?
Oh, honey.
You haven't seen him?
I haven't seen him.
Oh, girl, honey, child.
Okay, I'm gonna check him out. I'll check him out.
So, sorry, I'm just saying it's the truth. It's one of those. I mean, I've been with the same partner for 11 years. It doesn't mean that I'm dead. I can say that someone's beautiful. This John Ossoff guy is just a beautiful man. I do have a type, tall, lean, fit, Caucasian men. So you can deduce.
Anyone who's interested, yeah.
No, I don't. No. Good God, no. See, he's the pretty one right back there. That's the pretty one. Everyone knows. Hopefully next season, he'll be on the show, and it would be nice. It just depends. He gets sick of hearing me talk. So, I mean, I can understand that. Sometimes I get sick of myself too. But what do you think about this whole Warnock Ossoff thing with the runoff elections with the other people that are in Georgia? Because I think part of what's happening right now with this, what the orange-faced monster is trying to do is try to come across as though he cares, but then the Republicans are undermining it, even though the Democrats already pushed it through. And from what I just understood, now it just happened where Mitch blocked the vote in the Senate. Oh, he just blocked the vote. It was like 2 or 3 hours ago that I saw it. So Pelosi and the Democrats in the House, all of them, actually mostly Democrats, but 50 or 44 Republicans approved raising it from $600 to $2,000 per person, which originally the Democrats proposed this months ago, and it got shut down. And now Turtle Mitch, he wants to go climb into his shell. But this is like a limbo game. They want to give the illusion like the orange-faced monster wants to help people, but instead of making the decision, he's going to go golfing. So yes, I really want you guys to get this $2,000, but it's just because the other guys don't want it to happen, but it's not my fault. But make sure to vote for the other guys, the Republicans.
Yeah, it does. It's just, you know what? It's kind of late. He should have been saying this like last month, 2 months ago, that he wanted the American people to get $2,000. Not at the freaking 9th hour when the bill's getting ready to go through and he has to sign it. Come on. He has all this mouth for every other thing. Why didn't he open his trap for that? Okay, months ago. You're going to wait until the 9th hour? But I know what this is about. This is about he's getting ready to leave the White House, and he wants to go out kind of, I guess, trying to look like, oh, he cares about the American people, and he wants to fight for the American people to get more money. But really, you know, and unfortunately, I mean, yes, of course I would prefer 2,000 as opposed to 600. But hey, 600 is better than 0. But the point is, even if he somehow this 2,000 goes through, okay, that's great. Thank you, Mr. Trump or President Trump, Mr. President Trump. But what about all the crap you've done the last 4 years? I mean, really? I don't know. I just think this is so just to try to make himself look better. And what are the Republicans thinking? I mean, like, oh, is this going to look good to the American people that you're voting against giving the American people a higher amount of money? I mean, I think for the majority of us, we want 2,000 instead of 600, and we could use 2,000 a lot more instead of 6. But anyway, it's just very distressing. The whole Georgia thing, I know what that is. That's a tug of war between Republicans and Democrats. Democrats and Republicans. And the thing about Georgia is Georgia has been a red state. I mean, consistently. And now it seems like it might be turning over into, they call it purple. Not quite, not it wouldn't be blue, but it would be like kind of in the middle there. Because with Stacey Abrams, she lost by a very, very small percentage. So it shows that Georgia is shifting a little bit. And I think, we'll see how this all plays out on next week, because I think it's next week. Yeah. So yeah, it's just, but anytime you get into politics, it's just so convoluted and it's so much BS, and you don't even know what to believe, and everyone's saying something, and it's almost like you feel bad to even have to question, because I mean, think about it. The president is saying, "Oh, this isn't right. The American people should get 2,000, not 600." Well, that's a beautiful thing. Like, really think about it. For him to say that, that's really wonderful. But then you look at the person that the words are coming out of. That the character, his content of character, and then that's when you start to look side eye. Like, what do you have up your sleeve? Like, is this isn't really pure, intentions of just wanting the American people to have more money. Like, what do you have up your sleeve, buddy, based on his track record? So anyway.
Well, I mean, I completely agree with you. It's one of those things where it's you and I not preaching to each other. We get into each topic a little differently each time that we bring up a story. So I think when people watch all of our shows, then they kind of eventually get or glean a little bit more information every time that we do it, I hope. But it's interesting because down here, to continue with the politics stuff for a little bit more, before we switch to happier things, the U.S. District Judge RAJEE Zingle of the Southern District of Florida shot down the idea of no sales of alcohol between 12 midnight to 5 a.m. And there are 9 bars that are fighting to stay open here in the Southern District of Florida. This is after more than 7 days of 10,000 plus cases in a row. And actually, it's still at that. This story, I did it shortly after our last show. I pulled up the information. And the county spokesperson, Gregory Q. Meyer, said that they are looking into additional measures. So this past holiday, people have decided that it's more important for them to go out and have their drink or go night clubbing and do all that kind of stuff, which I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying don't complain if you're supposed to go home at midnight. There's not really a lot of good stuff that happens between 12 p.m. and 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're at home. I mean, let's think about that. Like, usually booty call time is last call for alcohol, 2 a.m., generally speaking. So if by 12 o'clock midnight you didn't get that booty, whether it was a man or a woman's booty, don't make no difference, honey. So if you didn't get that booty by 12 midnight, then it's probably not going to happen. So you need to get your ass in bed and go to sleep, as opposed to be doing everything else that's going to put you at a higher risk. So my question for you is, what do you think it is the reason why some of these locations are so animate? 9 bars are fighting for the right to stay open between 12 midnight and 5 a.m., but by the same token, the regular curfew or the regular liquor sales stops at 3 a.m. anyways, I think. In Miami and in Broward County, 2 a.m. that you get closed. You got to leave. So I understand that they want to make up the difference of the money that they've lost, but then I have to look at the option of how many times you buy a drink that's not much bigger than the size of a whiteout container and you pay $10 for it. How many years have we been doing it? A lot of years for people to drink. You don't drink, but I do. So I've been paying a lot for this little teeny drink. So if you haven't managed your bar well up until this point, maybe you've been mismanaging that money and you don't deserve to be open in the first place. Why is it so important to keep people out drunk? To take advantage of the situation. So my question for you is, do you see any harm with just putting in a curfew just for sales of alcohol to just let people know, just go home. It's just safer. The numbers keep getting higher. They're not going to go down. And all the people, do you think people are going to wear their mask while they're having a shot while they're already twisted?
Yeah. I think, well, when you look at behavior, like, is 12 o'clock going to really, like, in other words, like, who's to say people aren't going to do what they think they would do after 12 at 11 or 10 at night? I mean, behavior is behavior. But I think what it is they know that the darker, like the deeper into the night it gets, people probably let their guards down more. And so the risky behavior, the percentage goes up that way. I think that's the only reason, because really, like, okay, if you, like, who's to say you can't hook up at 10 p.m. as opposed to like 12:05 a.m.? I mean, the same shit can happen. It's not so much the time clock, because the same shit can happen. People have to be accountable for their actions. But unfortunately, what happens is the deeper into the night you go and the more drinks and drunk you get, I think they feel like, okay, people are gonna do more riskier behavior. So that's the whole thing about behind that. And in regards to the bars, it's all about money. Of course, it's all about money. If I mean, I don't drink, but I've been out to nightclubs and I see and hear how much they charge for these little freaking drinks. Bars and nightclubs make a load of money. The markup must be 300%, because sometimes what you pay for one drink, you can go to the liquor store and buy a whole freaking bottle. So, but they know you're gonna pay it because you're out at a nightclub, you're having a good time, you're thirsty, you want to get high or whatever, and so you're gonna pay it. You're not gonna go to a liquor store, and at that time they're probably closed anyway. So they've made so much money, and this boils down to money. If they have to stop selling liquor at 12 as opposed to 2 or 3, that's 2 to 3 hours that they're not able to make money. And believe me, they probably in those few hours they would make quite a bit of money.
But okay, but I think it's more of a fundamental thing for me though, Rajee. It's like, I wouldn't, if I had a bar or a restaurant, I should say, let's say bar or nightclub, with everything that's going on, I would have filed for that whole PPE thing and gotten payroll protection for employees. And a lot of some of these bars, they've never paid their employees properly. They're all under the table. So the bars have been making a whole bunch of money for a long time and not paying their employees a fair rate and taking advantage of their employees and also their patrons. This is my thing, okay? So it's more important for you to be able to make your money, but you still you didn't do what you were supposed to do to take care of your employees, and you have no regard for the people coming in and out. It's more important to make that $7 for your little shot, and then put the person at risk who's behind the bar, and then some of the employees that that have never been paid an actual real check, they're forced to go to work because that's the only thing that they know how to do. It's not fair. It's not fair to put the employee at risk or put the patron at risk just so that the person who owns the place can make the money. It's not like things were not already in place. Things were already in place to help with keeping checks coming to people. They could have gotten a loan. All these places that with a legitimate business could have gotten a loan, just like me. I could have gotten a loan. for my WeGo LLC. Oh, no, I don't know if anyone knows this, but that's me. The WeGo LLC. WeGo. So I mean, I could have gotten the loan, but it's just me that's driving around and giving people rides and everything else. So I didn't need to do that, and then I changed it so that I only do it very, I do it a lot more safely with a lot fewer people, and wipe down the car and wear a mask, and they have to wear a mask, and they have to plan at least 24 hours in advance, and I don't go to the airport, and I don't go here, and I don't go there, a whole bunch of different things. So it's one of those things where it's like everyone is making changes, but I just, like, same thing with the sex clubs. I mean, seriously, sex clubs are open, bathhouses are open, strip joints are open. Really? Like, you can't just pull up a porn. I mean, seriously, get a stripper pole. Like, buy a blow-up doll. I mean, do something else. Like, you're putting the people at risk at the sex clubs who are working there. The people that are in the sex clubs, do you think they're wearing a mask while they're sucking? I mean, doing whatever they're doing? I don't think there's very many masks that are going to be being worn. Or while they're shoving dollar bills into someone's tit slinger, I don't think that's going to be happening either. So it's just one of those things where it's up to people, I think, to make that decision. Like, what's more important? And the most important thing to me is people before profits.
Yeah.
I understand we all got to make money. We all got to make money. You got to make money. I got to make money. Everyone's got to make money. But it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, ridiculous. How about we talk about you go ahead and say what you're going to say, and then I'm going to talk about something fun.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, but I think it boils down to like the business and all of that. I mean, there's so many things that are involved with this, because let's not forget the clubs were closed for months back in the summer. They were closed for months, and then they were able to reopen. And so now the attitude is like, oh my God, we have to close again. So I think they're taking that attitude too. But yeah, it's just one of those things. And with, as far as the loan is concerned, I don't know how easy it was to get that loan. That help or grant or whatever they called it, for businesses. I don't know how easy it was. So that's another thing that I question. But anyway, yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, you're right. I mean, I agree with you. The moral thing to do would just be to go with the flow and close at 12 for the safety of the human population. Yeah, definitely. So what do you?
I mean, the numbers just keep going bigger and bigger. It's like, are we going to wait till people are walking on the street and fall down and die, just like what happened to the guy that was in the plane who died on the airplane in Orlando, and then now they're all getting pulled off to the side and everything else? I'm just saying, like, it's only going to become real when it's someone that you know or that you see that falls over, and then it's too late. But all right, so I've been watching some fun stuff on the show on the TV. I apologize for my stutter. I'm still trying to work through my head trauma. And also when I get excited, I just can't help it. So there's quite a few things, and I got some alien stuff too. There's quite a few things that I think that people should know about. There's 3 different shows. First of all, actually, I'm going to ask you, have you heard of Wonder Woman 1984?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it yet, but I did hear about it. And if I recall correctly, you've seen it and you loved it.
It's definitely good. It's definitely good. It's definitely a good one, but it's one of those things where they talk about race, they talk about what's happening now, they talk about the past, they talk about the future. It's kind of mirrored with what we're going through right now. So it's definitely, I would suggest, a must see for everybody. If you got HBO Max, it's not that much money a month. It's like $15 a month. You can just sit at home, put it on your laptop, put it on your smart TV, watch it on your phone or whatever if you want to. The other 2 shows, there's actually, oh my goodness gracious, I have so many that I love. But another one that I like is World. I think I've told you about that before. It's a really good show. It's no longer being done, but it's based off of a movie from the 1960s, which, because I liked Westworld, the TV series, I actually pulled it up and found the old 1967 version, which is really kind of creepy because they did a really good spin-off from the original movie.
Wow.
So the original movie was good. And then they did this Westworld, which is really, really good. In addition to that, there's another one of my favorite, one of my new favorites, and I can't wait. I think the new episode just came out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so another one is The Flight Attendant with, I can't remember her first name. She's got a funny last name, Kyoko. The blonde chick from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I forgot her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Something Kyoko or something like that. And then His Dark Materials is another really good one too. If you like science fiction kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but what movies or what shows or what have you been binge watching since you've been stuck at home?
Well, oh my God. I mean, I swear, like, I'm just always so busy. And sometimes I have to like stop and say, well, relax and like watch something, you know? Oh God, what was the recent thing there was something on Netflix that I just saw and now I can't remember it. Damn, it'll come to me. That's what happens after a certain age. But there's also it's it's on Netflix. It's an Indian reality show, and it's the like the housewife shows, but it's the Indian Bollywood wives. And I checked out like episode 1, and I'm going into 2 now. Honey, they are a trip. When you talk about bougie Indians, oh my God. Oh, honey, they are too much. And it's just, and by the way, my dad was Indian, so any Indian viewers out there, don't think I'm reading you because I'm half Indian, but it's just so it's funny. I mean, they're just so like, because a lot of them are married to Bollywood stars, and so it's pretty good. So that's what I've been watching. Um, oh, I know what it was I watched. I watched Selena. The series Selena about the singer. Yeah, that was so good. Oh my God. And they stopped it. It's like they stopped it when I was really getting into it. It was over and I said, "Oh, I know what they're doing. They're going to make a season 2." So I'm just waiting for that. But the thing is, with technology today, it's so great. There's so much to occupy us, and all the different streaming sites and everything. It's just so much to watch. So I've been doing the Netflix thing.
Well, also, if people want to watch 24 episodes of you and me and all of our cohorts, they can go to our website.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else. I mean, cohorts, co-hosts,
Mm-hmm.
deplorables. I don't know however you want to look at it, depending on your perspective. There's over now, upon completion of today's show, once we're done, it will be our 24th episode, 2 seasons, and people can watch it. The website is www.mysouthernexposure.site. That's www.mysouthernexposure.site. I do want to also give a couple of shameless plugs to other companies that I know and love, which one of them, well, it's not a company per se, but it's a person, RAJEE-NARINESINGH.com. That's RAJEE-NARINESINGH.com. You don't have to do the selfless plug. I'll do the plug for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I will do my selfish plug for WeGo, LLC.com. That's WeGo, WEEGO, LLC.com. And also, I do want to remind people about My Southern Exposure Media Group, LLC.com. So that's the quote-unquote parent company for My Southern Exposure.site. But they are offering a end-of-year website development and creation package. So it's on a couple of different platforms where you can go ahead and look to see. But if you want a website and you have a business at home, we definitely want to try to help facilitate you being able to make money safely from home. And the website will be up within a matter of hours, not days. So don't forget to contact them or us. Easy, simple. And I got a great testimonial right down here in the corner. She knows how beautiful her website is.
So, oh my God, I am so excited about this year's Rockin' New Year's Eve with Ryan Seacrest on ABC. Cyndi Lauper is one of the performers. I'm excited to see her. There's a number of people. Billy Porter from Pose, he's one of the co-hosts. Sierra. So I am going to be glued to the TV. You know, the thing is, some years for New Year's, I go out and party. And then some years I bring it, in at home. Well, of course, this year I'm going to bring it in at home. And so I'll just make something really delicious to eat and get in front of that TV, comfortable and cozy, and watch the performers and everything. I know it's going to look very different this year because it's not going to be like the crowd that they usually have in Times Square. So it's going to look very different, but I'm excited to see it. Oh, and one other thing.
Well, I'm excited.
Well, let me just say this. Whatever you believe in, whatever religion you are, whatever philosophies you have, whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever you are, make sure and declare what it is you want for 2021. Do it in the way you feel most. If you want to do it over your Bible, if you want to light incense, light a candle, chant, just make sure and put those good thoughts out for your life for 2021. It's powerful to do. All right, go ahead, Joseph. I just had to say that.
Well, I completely agree with you, and you know that I do. There's a couple things that I've learned over the years. It's from your lips to God's ears, because I believe in God. Yeah. Doesn't make a difference which God it is, but I believe in God. So from my lips to God's ears usually works for other people, and then from their lips to God's ears, if they direct it towards me, it usually works. Depends on how God feels about me that day. But then also whatever the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. That's an old track cross country thing. That like if you figure in your head that you can finish that race, you can keep going. And usually it's on the back of a t-shirt, the person in front of you. It says whatever the mind can believe, the body can achieve. And the body would be your spirit also, as well as your brain, your mind, your heart, everything that's connected to it. So I definitely want to say that I agree with that. And I know 2021, ooh, honey child, it's going to be a good one. I can feel it. I hope and pray and believe that it will. I think we're definitely going to be having a fun, entertaining, thought-provoking year in season number 3. We'll start off with a bang in a good way on January 18th or 19th. Either one depends on what Raj and I want to do. If it's going to be a Monday or a Tuesday, we'll figure out how it's going to work out. But we want to get the show in before the swearing in of our dear friends. Well, and see what happens. But Martin Luther King Jr. Day is January 18th. So you're going to have to find something else to watch for a couple weeks. But I keep reposting our videos, if you hadn't noticed, all across the United States.
And honey, I'm a lot of trans woman, honey. So you can look at these videos again, and I'm sure you'll find something you didn't see the first time.
Well, I mean, the videos that
Let me behave myself. I'm sorry.
Those videos that you posted, it just depends. Sometimes you're eating pickles. Sometimes you're eating potato chips. Sometimes I never know what you're going to be eating.
current events. Sometimes I'm talking about spirituality. Sometimes I'm a multifaceted individual, honey. I can do many things.
That's definitely for sure. So I think it's already 4:30. We've been doing the show for an hour and a half. I'm ready to stop, and then we can talk about the alien stuff. I want to do a little bit more research about it because there's a lot more new things that are going to be disclosed moving forward in 2021. There's new laws that are going to start to take effect in 2021 that the current administration passed during the middle of the night that none of us know about that are going to start to take effect. So there's some, we're not done with the negative from the current administration. That's going to continue forward probably for the next 6 months at least. But it's to be aware of that there's laws that are going to start to take effect in January of this year. There's a lot of public things that are going to be disclosed this year also as well with religion and also aliens and everything else also as well. So we will dive down that rabbit hole at another time. I want to say thank you very much to our more than 77,000 viewers. And don't forget to go to our website directly and hit the subscribe button. That's www.mysouthernexposure.site. Hit that little button on there. You can subscribe on the YouTube, and then the Facebooks. But more importantly, go to our website and hit that button on there. So then we can start to forward information to you directly. So you don't have to be listening to commercials or anything else like that besides the ones that myself and Rajee or whoever's on the show is going to do with our selfless promotions for the people who are connected to the show. So don't forget to go ahead and do that. And I want to thank everyone for watching the show. Make sure to forward it and share it. And I'm going to leave it up to you, Rajee, to say and bid adieu for the end of the year.
Well, 77. 7 is my lucky number, y'all. I was born on the 7th day. And so that's a lucky number to me. And that's a wonderful way to end this year, 2020. I want to thank all of our viewers for taking time out to hear what we have to say. And I really appreciate you. And I just want to wish everyone love, happiness, good health, peace, prosperity, many wonderful blessings, and a serendipitous 2021. Mwah! Love you all.
Have a happy new year. Be safe, and don't forget to wear your mask if you are going to go out, and try to keep safe. I'd suggest you just sit at home and watch the ball drop on the TV instead. Bye.